Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Vialet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet Rayne, and today's guest is Michael Cutter, or Heartsong. He is a life purpose coach, shamanic healer. He uses hand analysis to help people understand their gifts, live their most meaningful, authentic lives. His shamanic healing cleanses spiritual issues, balances energy, and assists in healing trauma and other challenges to living their life purpose. For those that know, Michael is part of our team at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts. So he does one-on-one sessions and teaches several classes a month. Excuse me. And also is my partner in my sound bass at the center. So we play sound bass once a month. So welcome to the show, Michael.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for having me here, and happy to be talking with you about this.
So we're going to talk about a subject that most people, that we get questions about a lot, and that is life purpose. What is my life purpose? Am I on path with my life purpose? Am I doing what I came here to do? And I get tons of questions on that. So I know Michael does as well. And so what has been your experience, Michael, with your clients talking about life purpose?
Yeah, I really get a wide range of questions and curiosities from people. I talk with a lot of people that are well in their path, of life purpose, whether they're in business or different parts of life. I talk with a lot of people involved in the spiritual community or creative type people. And there's a lot of diversity. Some people really just trying to figure out what's going on in life, and they've been guided for various reasons in life to really not be in a real relationship with what they came here for, or their real joy in life. And other time people are really well in that path, but they have certain questions about maybe what the next steps are, or how to navigate certain challenges in that in what they're doing. So I help a lot of different people from in a lot of different ways like that.
Do you find that some people are not in their life purpose, and what have you found has prevented them from stepping into that?
Yeah, it's a good question. And first of all, I'd like to start with saying that I think everybody is living their life purpose. I don't think there is such a thing as not living life purpose. The question is more about are you living the joyful version of it? Are you living the version of it that has meaning and passion and vitality and the zest for life? Because what happens in a lot of cases, life is very challenging. I mean, and as young children, it's very fascinating because I see the contrasts all the time where it's as if nature or life, this reality that we are born into, is designed to give us a strong challenge, especially when it comes to life purpose. Very commonly, we're born into family settings that give us the opposite of what we came here to experience. And I will often use the analogy, it's like if somebody thinks that maybe they want to be a mountain climber, in life, like they want to be a professional climber, they don't set their sights on the little hill in the backyard. It's something big, like really big, the biggest challenge that at the time they don't know if they're capable. And that challenge is what drives them and fuels them. And along that path, there's many obstacles to test them to see if they can rise to that challenge and accomplish that goal. And life purpose is quite similar. And how I've come to see, that challenge is a necessary part to make the sense of fulfillment and accomplishment and joy possible. So being born into this family dynamic that, I don't know, maybe, in some cases people come here and their life purpose isn't so much about what they're doing in life and career and that kind of thing. It's more about discovering how to create emotional connection with all of the people that they're with. And that's a really interesting thing. I saw several people with that over the weekend, and I see it commonly when I'm doing readings. And almost exclusively, these people with a certain type of that, it's a strong version of it, they are born into family dynamics where they get no emotional connection. And just to survive in that environment for them is very challenging. And so, midlife, they have these struggles with, relationships. And, by helping them understand that's what they came here for, and understanding how those challenges they experienced early in life set the stage for this journey, they can begin to understand that, oh, well, I need to, kind of get back in that game, so to speak, and to expose myself to those challenges in relationships and use that to learn what I came here to learn and be in my power and my joy.
It's very similar to the fact that how can you know love until you've experienced not having love? How can you experience emotion until you understand what it feels like to not have an emotional connection, right? So the polarity on this planet provides those opportunities for us to really have a deep understanding of different things because we experience not having it. And so that pushes us. I think about families, right? That everybody's a lawyer, or everybody's a politician, or everybody's a doctor. And the child's born into that family, and the expectation is you're going to do this occupation. Well, maybe that child, that's not their purpose or their passion or what brings them joy. However, they want to make their family happy and they want to meet the needs that their family has. So they go into these types of occupations, and then they find this dissatisfaction because they don't connect. It's not who they are. But how would they know that unless they tried it, right? I don't think there's a bad choice. I think we choose different things for different experiences that help us grow, evolve, get to know ourselves, and hopefully learn from some of those aspects. And I'm sure you see that too, right? Everybody in the family's this, so I need to be this, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. I see that in some way, I think, in every case, and of course, a lot of different interesting things happen in that path of life for people. This isn't linear type of thing. It's very organic. It's like nature, but there are patterns that do make it predictable, that for instance, if somebody is an artist, if that's what we see in the hands as I'm looking and I see the artist as life purpose, I can know that at least a part of the challenge that they have is about being able to freely express themselves without the fear of criticism or lack of approval hindering that process of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, without catering their creativity to try and please people, but having it be an authentic expression. And that's what keeps a lot of people doing their art in the basement and not really living it really in life, you know. And the same with public speaking, and the same with leadership. It's exactly what you're saying. It's the nature of living in a dualistic reality, and it just shows up in all of the different aspects of human psychology. The duality is reflected there. So for every gift we have, there's a challenge with being in our strength and our power with that gift.
You know, and that's real purposeful. You know, if you think about archetypes, and everything that we look at has polarity. It has a light aspect and a shadow aspect. And it's about us experiencing both so that we have a clear understanding of what the joyful side of this can be and where we can go with it. You know, sometimes I think because we're in this physical reality and there's lots of noise and lots of distractions, you can get stuck in cycles and patterns and really not even see that, hey, this is why I keep repeating this behavior. This is why I keep attracting this same thing. This is why I keep doing it. And coming to a reader that can say, hey, have you ever thought about blah, 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 blah. And they're like, this light comes on of, oh my gosh, now I understand why that keeps showing up for me, or why I keep going through that, is because I haven't recognized that, hey, that's important experience for me. And once you recognize sometimes these things, then you're able to move into a more healthy dynamic with the energies, and finding that out. And we don't always see that ourselves because we're with ourselves every day, and you don't see what you're creating or what that is, and you go to somebody else that can look in and really see. It's fascinating what Michael can see in your hands and tell you about, hey, this is happening, and you're like, how did you know that? So you've been doing hands, showing people, having people show you their hands for a long time. Do our hands change? Do we change? How does that dynamic work, and what all do you see in the hands?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. And so absolutely we change, and the hands do change too. Um, you know, I don't see any real rules to it. You know, like if I see something in the hand that's showing me a challenge, or a gift, that I mean that gift isn't going to go away. It's not. We're not going to change that in our life. It's something really that is so deeply ingrained in our psychology that um, we need to find the way to work with that. And in a sense, we're kind of married to these different qualities within ourselves. And so the path is really about coming into a harmonious, meaningful, purposeful relationship with that part of ourselves, rather than trying to hide from the challenges because of the traumas or the things that happened early in life. And so, yeah, it's you know, when people do make changes in life, sometimes the hands are going to change, but really what I'm seeing in the hands is not so much about exactly where somebody's standing now in life, and it's not about whether they're in a right relationship with all of those gifts and the different qualities that I'm seeing. It's just showing me what they are. It's showing me what the gifts are, what the life purpose is, what the challenges are. But in order, and sometimes I can tell, sometimes I can tell that there's such overt challenges there. And maybe you can see that the person is, they look like they're tired and they're exhausted in life, and you can sense that they're living the challenge. But really, the hands don't show me all of that. What they show me is the core pattern. And then we have a discussion about, what's happening in life. Where are you in that journey, and how to work with that and resolve, those different issues.
Because those gifts or superpowers are what we're really gifted with. Everybody has different ones. So understanding what those gifts are, what that energy is, or what your purpose is, allows you to understand how to move through your life, what jobs are really going to align to your heart, what relationships, what community, what actions are really going to be positive for you based on that information, which can be very powerful and very life-changing. I think sometimes just knowing and being aware creates a possibility for us to really step into a more joyful, fun place within our lives, just
Yeah,
understanding what that is.
absolutely. And there's a little story that I'd like to share, kind of related to that. So, is what it's bringing up for me is, there are so many ways that life purpose can manifest in our life. I used to think it was a little more linear, in a sense. Like when I see the artist in somebody's hands, now in the fingerprints in particular is what I'm talking about. It's the life purpose of the artist. We also call it the life purpose of being in the spotlight. It's about being seen, being appreciated, and public speaking, and these kind of, like, having some kind of public impact on our communities and so on. It's that kind of quality. And the artist, I used to think it was more about being creative or being an artist as we think of an artist. But just the other day, I had a young woman that I spoke with that is a perfect example of this. So she's in her early 20s and very, she looked like an athlete and very strong and earthy qualities to her. And I started talking about her life purpose, and I asked her, I look at her hands and I asked her, "Are you an artist?" And she said, "No, I'm not." And and I'm like, "Well, why not? What's up with that? Because I'm seeing that here in the hands, And and I ask her what she does, and her passion is bodybuilding. And I've learned over time to not necessarily assume that, okay, how does bodybuilding equate with being an artist? Okay. So instead I ask her, what is it that calls you to that? Why all this passion? Because I can feel her passion, and she's so into that right now. And what I hear back from her in her story is that she just loves to she think of her body as art, and she gets to create that. She gets to she can focus on different parts of her body to create it like she wants to, and she gets to be in the competitions and be up on stage and be appreciated by people for what she's doing. And that's the point of the artist. And it's so fascinating to me, how that can work. And so in this case, I really encourage her to, it's like, no, and I help her understand too, in a deeper way, how that's fulfilling her role as an artist. And just with that conscious awareness, she can understand that and use it to both fuel that passion and to feel deeper sense of connection and purpose in it. And also make choices in the future, maybe to, to steer herself in even more powerful ways in her life.
Well, when we understand that, right? When we understand that element within ourselves, whether you're looking for a job or a place to volunteer, whatever it is in your life, you can stop and say, how does this allow me to align with that passion that I have within me and what I'm doing, so that that helps fuel that? Because when we're in alignment with ourselves and what we're doing, it can be very powerful returns, because we can see the success from that by doing that. And so as we understand more of that, and I know in my hands, he sees teaching, surprising, communication, surprising, family, and passion. So in understanding that, I kind of understand why I do some of the things I do and why I'm really passionate about working in those areas, why that brings me the most joy, right, in what I do. And so it allows me to make better decisions for my life. Does that align? Is that really who I am? Is that going to bring that joy and passion into my life? Or am I getting a little off track, right? We all do things that we don't normally love or like sometimes, just because we need to do that, like paying bills or, visiting family sometimes, right? There are just certain things that we're drawn that we have to do, pay taxes, right? All those things. But it allows us to have passion in as many areas of our life as we can.
Yeah.
And so reading the hands and doing hand analysis, Michael, share with us a little bit about some of the things that you offer, not only one-on-ones, but some of your classes and programs that you offer, and how people can connect. We'll have your website at the bottom of this video throughout, and also on the podcast where you can locate Michael, but just share a little bit about what you offer.
Yeah. So I think in a lot of ways, the hand analysis is really my way to interface with the public. I participate in some of the different holistic fairs and things like that. And it's a great way to meet people and to start discussing these really important aspects of who we are and how we're engaging in life. And my deeper passion behind all of that is really helping people in stepping into those different gifts and stepping into that right relationship with life, which means releasing the fears or the traumas or the different things that have been holding us back. And so that's a lot of the different group exercises and experiences that I hold. That's my intention with that, is to give people a format to have those experiences and to experience self-healing, and in a community context to explore those different parts of themselves there too. So I have a shamanic healing circle that I do once a month. I do the sound healing circles, which do the one with Vialet, and my partner and I have another one that we offer. And I do a lot of other, I'm teaching hand analysis coming up, so that for people that are interested in really understanding that deeper psychology and how that's working, and they can learn the hand analysis, and it's a great way to both understand yourself, but also to help other people, for people that are maybe they're coaches or psychotherapists or people, and they see the value in that and they want to learn. And other group events too, from ceremonies and drum making and incense making, some other creative things. But it's all really about supporting ourselves in that path of how we're being called in life.
I love that. I love that. I love having you at the center. I think it's a really awesome. The community loves having you there, and so I enjoy being able to work with you and see you. So I really enjoy those in-person moments where we'll be in fairs together or at the center. So really kind of awesome, to have that skill set or that gift in the center. I enjoy that. So thank you so much for taking the time. This was a last minute schedule and Michael was willing to step in. So I love that. I love doing the podcast and talking about the things that we do at the center and sharing our gifts. So thank you for jumping on last minute and being part of this.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for inviting me, Violet. Happy to be here and talk. And thank you for your passion and creating the community, that you have. It's a really beautiful thing. And I love being a part of all of that. It's, and so much of the world is kind of based on these ideas of competition, the models of competition, that we need to beat the competition. And, but when we're developing these communities, it's supportive. And I like being a part of all of that collective passion and sense of purpose in these ways and in the work we do.
Yeah, awesome. And we like having community come together because we really believe at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts that there's enough for everyone and we don't have to compete with each other. And I love being able to offer different teachers and different practitioners because we all resonate a little differently with each other. And so it gives people the opportunity to experience different things from different people. And I think that's what makes it so magical is people can find what they need there. Whatever that is, there's someone there or some class there that they can find. So thank you all for listening today. You can follow us on your favorite channels, whether you're watching or listening to the show. We really appreciate it. Please comment and let us know how you like the show. And we hope that you have a very sacred and magical week and that we'll see you back here again on another show. So thank you so much for watching or listening.
Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.